This video will show you a simple way to visualize what mathematically correct FOV settings should look like on any monitor setup. The goal is to give you a feel for how mathematically correct FOV works and to set your expectations for what it should look like. This is a companion video for my ATS/ETS2 FOV calculator, so I'll be using examples related to those games. However, the same concepts can be applied to any other game with a perspective camera. Let's get into it. First, sit in front of your monitor setup at the distance you normally would when you're gaming. Here's a 27-inch monitor at a 70cm eye distance, for example. Next, close your eyes and imagine that you've been transported into the game world. Pretend that you are the in-game camera. Here's the cabin view of a truck in ATS, for example. Now try to create a rough mental map of what's around you. It helps a lot to pick out some points of interest and think about where they would be in relation to you. Here, the dashboard is maybe 20 degrees down. The left mirror is about 45 degrees to the left, and the right mirror is close to 60 degrees right. Finally, open your eyes and imagine that your monitors are windows into the game world. The only place where you can see the game world is through the screens. Everything else will not be visible. That's what a mathematically correct view looks like. This trick works on any setup. Here are some more examples. Once again, the 4 steps are to sit at a fixed viewing position, imagine yourself as the in-game camera, figure out what you should be seeing, then limit the view to only where the screens are. It's simple, really. Mathematically correct FOV just makes your screens look like windows or portals into the game world. So we visualized what it should look like in theory, but in reality, there are limitations when trying to get a game to actually look like this. Let's go over some of the important ones that you should be aware of. The major thing people often miss is that a mathematically correct view only works for the specific head position it is calculated for. It's easy to understand why using the window analogy. If we look out of a window from a different position, what we see should change. But the game doesn't know you moved, so the view on screen stays the same. Whenever you change head position, you will need different FOV settings. It is impossible for one FOV setting to look correct from all angles. Here's another way to think about it. Any FOV setting on a specific monitor will have a specific eye distance where the view becomes mathematically correct. The further you deviate from this, the more incorrect the image will look. When you're too far away, the edges of the image appear stretched, which people often call a fisheye lens effect. That term is technically incorrect since the projection is rectilinear and not fisheye, but that's besides the point. So because of this dependency on screen size and head position, it's difficult to show what a mathematically correct view looks like through a picture or video. That's why I encourage you to visualize it on your own setup instead. If you do want to watch this video with a mathematically correct view though, your eye distance would have to be at half of your device's screen width. That's what the math works out to with a camera FOV of 90 degrees horizontal. Despite how common curved monitors are nowadays, games unfortunately don't know about or compensate for curvature, so some distortion always occurs. Here you can see the difference between an 1800R curve and a flat display. The more aggressive the curve, the worse the distortion. In ATS or ETS2, it's possible to split a single monitor into multiple angled views, which more closely approximates the curve and somewhat counteracts the issue. This is one of the functions you can use in my calculator. But overall, there just aren't very many good options to deal with this. In my opinion, it's better to just stick with flat monitors. For those with multiple monitors, another limitation is whether the game supports rendering multiple viewports. ATS and ETS2 have excellent support, allowing you to have up to 4 viewports, each with customizable FOVs and offsets. You can create settings that fit almost any setup. As for other games, simulator-type games might support 3 views. They let you adjust the side monitor angles, with each monitor having a separate camera view. Assetto Corsa is one example. These games are categorized as having proper triple screen support. As long as you have a conventional setup with matching monitors, this works fine enough. But don't get this confused with regular triple monitor support. That just means the game can handle super wide aspect ratios like 48:9, allowing it to display across 3 monitors. It does not mean it can render 3 separate camera views. For example, Dirt Rally 2 has triple monitor support, but it only ever uses one camera view. There's no monitor angle adjustment, the game just stretches the one viewport across all the screens. To get a mathematically correct view, your monitors would all have to be on a parallel plane. These limitations can be overcome if devs or modders implement the right features. I have some ideas for potential solutions, but I'll save it for another time. Anyways, hopefully you now have a decent understanding of what a mathematically correct view is. But why would you want to use it? What's the point? The main benefits are better depth perception and a more accurate sense of speed. Because the screen acts like a window into the game world, everything appears at a realistic scale. Your brain, which is used to gauging distances in real life, can then easily gauge distances in the game world in the same way. This is especially vital in sim racing games, where having better depth perception and sense of speed can directly improve performance. Another upside is the elimination of any perceived distortion. As mentioned before, the fisheye lens effect that some people dislike is directly caused by deviating from mathematical correctness. With multi-monitor setups, there's also the issue of straight lines crossing monitors appearing to bend when the angle or FOV is not set properly. Making your setup mathematically correct entirely eliminates these issues. But these benefits do not come without downsides. The most common issue that people face is low visibility. In this example, important things like the dashboard or mirrors aren't visible without turning the camera. Obviously, this is quite impractical for gameplay. However, there are a few ways to get higher visibility while maintaining mathematical accuracy. You could move the screen closer, get a bigger screen, or add more screens. Remember, in order for you to see something in the game world, there must be a screen there for you to look through. So filling more of your vision with screen is the only way to see more. Of course, it's not always going to be feasible due to space or budget constraints. So the real downside is the difficulty of getting a good setup, rather than just low visibility. A related issue is having to turn your head a lot to gather information, which many of us aren't used to doing in games. But think about how much you have to turn your head when driving in real life. If you use realistic FOV settings, you should expect to do roughly the same amount of looking around. But if you're playing games where gathering a lot of info at once is vital, then it can obviously be a big problem. So in those cases, it makes sense to use a higher FOV. So, should you use mathematically correct FOV? It's totally up to you. My goal is not to convince you one way or the other, it's just to help you understand the concept. You can weigh up the pros and cons and decide for yourself. Everything has trade-offs, there's no best option for every situation. Let's say you do want to try it, how do you actually get the correct values? For ATS or ETS2, you can use my calculator, link in the description. You'll find detailed guides on using it there. If you use triple screens, games with proper triple screen support will usually have some in-game options that will set up the view for you. For most other games, you can use any simple FOV calculator you find online to get the correct horizontal and vertical FOV for your setup. Then you'll need to figure out what FOV setting in-game will give you the desired result. Sometimes the game uses a vertical or horizontal FOV slider, sometimes they use a multiplier instead, and sometimes the aspect ratio affects the result. I tend to use mousesensitivity.com. It can tell you the actual FOV for quite a few games. Anyways, that's it for now. Hope you found this video helpful. If there's interest, I may make more explainer type videos about FOV in the future. There's a lot more I could talk about. If you have any questions or feedback, comment down below. Thanks for watching.